Hi, good evening. Welcome. It's a really hot day here in Chennai. Amazingly hot to say the least. But today we have a very interesting guest. It's Anmol Malik, renowned singer and Bollywood music director. Anu Malik's daughter, who has written her first novel called Three Impossible Wishes, and I'm really excited to have her with me. Hi, Anmol, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
I
Just give
can't
me a
see you
sec.
though. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Lovely to see you.
Very nice to see you. Thank you so much for having me. And this is going to be a very exciting session.
Of course, and
Let me
I'm so
just adjust
glad
the
that.
frame.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad that you're here with me. I see a lot of my friends have joined in. They love,
Hello.
all these little chats here. And I'm excited to have you because you're a young writer, but you're successful already in so many ways. Your dad, of course, is huge. We don't need
Absolutely.
to say that, Anu Malik ji. And you've done so many things already in you've been a singer, a songwriter, you've been an AD, assistant director, now you've written a novel, all just at the age of 25. Very diverse. And that's really great to see someone like this, young,
Thank
achieve so many
thank you.
things. So now that Three Impossible Wishes, sorry, is out, how do you feel? Your little baby, your first book?
I'm so grateful for it because it's something I've been very dedicatedly and diligently working towards all my life. So for
Okay.
me to know that this book is out now and that I can finally add the tag author to my name, it's it feels surreal. And the fact that when I first wrote this book, I didn't have a book deal in sight. I only wrote it to make myself smile. The entire book is a hugely hilarious. There are a lot of these layers underneath. It's a bit like cake. There are these layers and layers and layers. But it feels surreal that a publishing giant like HarperCollins picked it up and it's a debut novel. So for me, it's just blowing my mind right now.
Okay, but you've been a songwriter and
Yes.
a musician, and writing is just an extension, I think, in so many ways, because
It
there you
is.
have to be very pithy, and here, you can really write as much as you want and elaborate and.
The curious bit is I've always felt there's a certain rhythm to writing and there's a certain narrative to music. So, in a lot of ways, music and writing are kind of similar. They're kind of cut from the same cloth. It's obviously just how big the medium is because a song is 3 minutes and a book is around 400 pages. So, it's
Right.
just how much can you really describe and what all that you have to say. But I feel they go hand in hand.
Okay. When you started writing the novel, did you have a
Right.
rom-com in mind, or you just started writing and it just flowed?
I think it just flowed, but B, I am
Okay.
a huge rom-com fanatic. I
Okay.
absolutely a lot of my writing is greatly influenced not by an author but by a screenwriter, and that's Richard Curtis, who wrote Notting Hill and Love Actually and all these amazing. For me, rom-coms are less about the cheese and more about how charming and subtle they are. And when
Okay.
it comes to a good rom com, I always feel it should be like a real life love story, in that your two protagonists end up changing each other for the better. They kind of bring out each other's best versions.
Okay. So you have a Desi girl studying abroad, much like yourself when you went abroad to study. And then you
Yes,
have a little Richie Rich boy, Sahil,
yes,
right? And then you have a Russian dude
yeah.
also, and then an uber successful dad. Was there anything, in the book that was
Right.
very similar or inspired from your own life,
There
that
was.
kind of went into it? Okay.
There was the main thread of the book because I find that. So I'll tell you where this book was actually born from. Um, I find that when you have to study or work in a city or a country that's not yours, it's very difficult because you feel a little unsettled. You feel very disconnected. And I found that a lot of times that was one group that was overlooked. There was one emotion that was overlooked. And being an international student, I experienced that firsthand. And I wanted to address it. There was this rumor on my campus, which was a very mean rumor,
Okay.
If you failed your exams, you didn't just fail the year, you got deported. And can you imagine the
Okay.
fear? And nobody even questioned it. Everyone just believed it. And being an international student, that's the kind of alienation you feel. No matter how friendly people are around you, there is still that there is still that barrier. Even if you've moved from Bombay to say Chennai to work, or vice
Right.
versa, you'll
Yeah.
always feel that disconnect. And I wanted to get to that point. And I know it's a very serious issue. There are a lot of serious issues that this book touches upon, but it's masked under a lot of humor and a lot of feel good, warm, fuzzy stuff. And that's the
Okay.
kind of person I am. I want to make these serious observations, but through a bit of a light-hearted glance.
Okay. So when you finished the first draft, you said it took about 4 months to write,
It
from
did.
what I read, right?
Yes.
Were you nervous at all, or were you happy with the outcome? What was that feeling like? Because that's the toughest part, getting the first draft.
I think I didn't, because I didn't have a book deal at that point. I didn't even think it would be a book. I think I wrote mostly for myself, and I think that's what drove me forward. Really enjoying the story. When I write, I don't really realize where the time goes, and I have a very strict writing schedule. So
Oh,
when I finished it, I was relieved, and then I don't know why we thought of shopping this around, and I didn't expect anyone to reply back. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't
okay.
expect it to reach the stage where a commissioning editor like Swati would reach out and say, I love the voice of this book and I think we should publish it. And that email kind of changed my life.
Okay. Now that the book is out, people are loving it. They love, they think some people describe it as chick lit, teenage romance. But given that it addresses the younger audience, right?
Yes.
Do you think it'll inspire more kids to read and write eventually? Because I think now, that's somehow seems to be dying. Everything is on everything. Everybody's like on social media and watching,
That's
television.
such a great
But
question.
yeah.
That,
So, what's your
uh,
take?
I feel the tone that this book is written in is extremely accessible. And it's very easy. Like, if it is 400 pages long, but I think once you start reading it, you don't really realize it. Um, and I think what that does, hopefully, for a reader is they feel that if it's that accessible, if it's the way I talk, then that makes writing something even more easier. They don't have to be pretentious. They don't have to be somebody else. They can just be themselves on paper and have it just pour out. But I have noticed a little shift recently. I've noticed that people love reading still, and books I don't think will ever go out of fashion because a whole library of books, like the one behind me, they're
Yeah.
like little portals to a different world. And I think that feeling itself is so exciting that I don't think books will ever die out. At least not as long as we're human, we'll always want to express ourselves. So we'll find some form or the other to do it.
Okay. So, who are some of the authors who've inspired you? And is there any particular genre that you tend towards, or
Right.
do you read everything? I mean, what's your?
So I read anything and everything, even the back of cereal boxes. But my favorite authors, like I said, my favorite writer has been Richard Curtis.
Richard Curtis? Yeah.
I have grown up on Salman Rushdie and Neil Gaiman, and of course Enid Blyton. You can't start a child with.
Right.
I'm a big fan of your Archies and your Tintins, and of course the classics. I love Jane Austen, Elizabeth Gaskell. So basically, I've read pretty much everything, but the genre that I tend to lean towards is, weirdly enough, sci-fi. I
Okay.
I don't know why that is. I have to always curb my instincts and not get too much into it. But I love Douglas Adams. He's written the book called Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Adore him. I adore the whole Star Trek and Doctor Who zone. So I think between rom-coms and sci-fi, I'm caught in a very weird space, and let's see how that pans out in the future.
Okay. Now, speaking about romance,
Right.
you've grown up, I should say, in Bollywood. Your dad, of course, has written so many romantic songs,
An
numbers,
insane amounts.
huge hits. So, how has your idea of romance been colored by Bollywood?
Again, that's a fantastic question. I think once anyone reads this book, they'll see Bollywood screaming out from the pages. Um,
Okay.
the book is actually a movie in a book, and
Okay.
Bollywood has been a great influence. And Bollywood is pretty fast moving. There's always so much happening, and
Hmm.
there's always music breaking up little bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
And I think this sense of romance, being ultra dramatic, has definitely come from Bollywood. So yes, it's been a very big influence in my life. Definitely, I'm proud of being a part of the Hindi film industry.
Okay. So, following up from that question, what are some of your dad's favorite songs? Can you sing us a few?
Of course, there's so many. Oh my God, he's done like 400 films.
Yeah. So,
It's a very difficult question now. Which song to choose? Um,
any few, couple of your favorite numbers that.
this one's from his album. It's called Dhua Dhua, and it's
Okay.
one of his lesser known works, but I think it's a beautiful song nevertheless.
Hmm.
धुआं धुआं हो रहा है समा कहीं तो है आग लगी कि हो ना हो ये तेरा काम है कि शोला बदन है तू ही. There's another one which my dad and me worked on. It was
Hmm.
for a serial for Alt Balaji, and it's called
Okay.
Alvida Phir Kyun Kaha.
Hmm.
Um, hmm, जरा से अधूरी तुम भी जरा से अधूरे हम भी कभी थे दिलों के मुसाफिर अब है अजनबी अजनबी मोहब्बत फिर हमको हुई ना ओ किसी के हो पाए कभी ना मेरे होठों से हंसा तू मेरी आँखों से तू बहा अलविदा फिर क्यों कहा अलविदा फिर क्यों कहा ओ जरा से अधूरी.
That's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Can you sing us one of your own compositions?
Sure. Wow. I'm ready agreeing to this. This is a song called Let Me Come Home,
Okay.
which I had written, and I love the lyrics of the song. I always get attracted to the words of a song before
Okay.
anything else. So Let Me Come Home. I threw water on the sun in the evening, and the moon lies in pieces by my bedside. It still wasn't dark enough, so I picked a jar. I held it to the night sky and captured all the stars. Still I have dreams I don't like. There are nightmares I love. There must be something wrong. I am yet to be born. Let me come home where you are. Let me come home. I'm tired of being alone. Let me come.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Anmol.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, talking about your book, has your dad read it? What does he say? What does he
It was
think
a
about it?
shocker.
Okay.
It was a shocker. They didn't. Nobody in my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, no one knew that I was writing a book, and I couldn't even tell them about it because, frankly, the publishing space is a very new space for me and for them, and navigating it on my own has been a little scary, but it's also been thrilling because it's attracted a lot of new people into my life. And when the book was ready, is when I went with it to my dad, and I
Okay.
said, here it is, here's something I've written. And I think he was a little taken aback. And then I had to sit down and narrate the entire story to him, which was a little embarrassing. Not always fun discussing love stories with your parents.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but I think
But
he laughed a lot in a lot of scenes.
okay, okay, that's nice. And of course, Ayushman wrote a note for the book
He
for you.
did.
Are you like friends with Ayushman? What is your
Oh my God.
relationship with him like?
How can I call him a friend? He's such a star. Oh my gosh. I've never met a human being who is more sparkling than Ayushmann Khurrana. He's
Right.
supremely talented, which means he doesn't have to necessarily be nice to people. But
Yeah.
he is nice. He's one of the most generous, warm-hearted people I've ever known. And he's someone who's seen me almost from the start of my career doing all these string of odd jobs, and he's seen me grow from that point. And I never expected him to read the book. I never expected him to be so kind, and I never expected him to give a quote for it. And when he gives a quote, you know he means it. There's something very special about Ayushman. It's that he lights up something within people. No matter who he meets, he's the same with each and every one of them. And I think he's extremely special and must be protected at all costs because he's a great, great guy. But it's
And
also very thrilling to know that
and
his
he's
name was.
also famous for the romantic comedies that he does on
He
screen,
isn't he
right?
such a great
So
actor?
yeah, he
He's
is.
so
Yeah.
talented. And every film that he's done has come with great content. So for me, it's like I said at the start of this interview, I've been super grateful for this book because not only did I don't know how the universe conspired for me to get a super great publisher from to have Swati and Dia and Anant and even my agent Kanishka on this, to have Ayushman's name on the book cover. Everything just came together, and I don't know how, and I've just been very grateful for it. So yeah.
And would it be fair to say that you did everything on your own without your dad's influence?
It would. I
Yeah.
think it shows because it's very easy to spot if someone it's very easy to spot when someone's done something on their own and when there's been some help here and there. I couldn't have asked for help because he wouldn't have known how to help me. The only thing I could have done is listen to my heart. You won't believe it if I say this, but it's true. I've only listened to my heart, and whatever instincts and whatever random advice it's given me in the dead of the night is what I followed. And now I'm here talking to you during this very wonderful interview, and I don't know how any of it's happening.
Okay. So what is next for you now that you're basking in all this, the limelight and the happiness, like, people loving the book? And what is next for you? What are you looking forward to now?
I want to work harder. I want to, I really hope people pick this book up, and I hope it puts a smile on their face. But I'm always writing, I'm always creating, and I always believe that each piece of work that people create comes with its own destiny. And I feel the creator has no control over it. So all I can do is work super hard and keep creating, whether it's music or whether it's books or I don't know, anything. But I just hope that the destiny of those products is good enough and it lands up with good people.
Okay. One thing I wanted to ask you, is there anything similar between you and Arya?
Me and sorry, you? Oh, Arya.
Your protagonist in the book.
Quite a bit because it is my voice.
Right.
The whole tongue-in-cheek humor, I suppose. One thing I can tell you though is the most similar thing between Arya and me is anything impossible that's happening in this book is true. The vending machine, your foot being stuck in the vending machine, dressing up as a ghost, anything that sounds absolutely ridiculous is the only thing that is actually true. I know because it happened to me.
Okay.
I've been ridiculous, but
okay.
all a part of growing.
Yes, part of campus life,
Absolutely.
right? Now that kids can't go to college, I think they should at least read your book and enjoy some of the masti that they're missing out on.
I'm telling you, that's such a great way of putting it. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's also set in a very pivotal year, right? The book,
Yeah.
it's all fun and games, but it's also set in a very it's been a troubling year for them because it's also the year that the 26/11 attacks happened in Bombay, and it was a very troubling time for a lot of international students who were stuck in different cities all over the world, and they couldn't hear any news back from home. Also, it was also the year that there were a lot of gang wars breaking out, especially in Birmingham. And that's
Right.
again very unsettling for an international student because it's not their country, so they don't even know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things. There were a lot of things happening on campus at that point of time, and that's all in this book, all the mal masala.
Yeah, because even now, the COVID,
Yeah.
pandemic, a lot of foreign students got stuck on campus and couldn't come
Yes.
back home, and so it's a crisis in many ways,
It is.
which
It is. Being an
kind of,
international student is scary.
yeah,
It's very
yeah,
glamorous on the surface, but it is. There is a lot of uncertainty that comes with it, and let's not forget the money problems because it is very difficult
yeah.
funding a life there. You know, you're always doing. Whenever I bought water, I think I still haven't left the habit. I always did the currency conversion in my head. It
Okay.
just happens automatically.
Yeah. So, are you working on something now? I mean, in
I
terms of
am.
music, in terms of books, can you tell us
I
a
am.
little bit?
I can. I am working on a couple of. So I'm working on my new album.
Okay.
So I'm busy writing it and polishing it and working from home in the studio.
Right.
I'm also very excited about a new story that I'm writing, but I don't know what the
Oh,
future of that story is. I don't know
okay.
where it's going to end up, what's going to happen. So
Okay.
I'm just writing it for myself right now, and I really hope because it's something. Writing is a very serious. I wouldn't say job. It's a very serious passion of mine, and
Okay.
I do hope to continue to write more. So let's see if God wills.
Okay. Of course, I'm sure you'll do a great job of it. And before we say goodbye, a lot of people are requesting you to sing Senorita.
Senorita.
I don't know why, but you don't have to sing that. Can you sing another, one of your
You
dad's
know,
songs?
it's really weird. Can I sing a song of mine? Because today is the song's anniversary.
Of course, please.
It's called Into the Night. And it was a song that we really hustled, me and the team. We shot it in the most shoestring budget, but I'm very
Okay.
proud of that song. And it released today, 3 years ago. So,
Okay.
Into the Night. I know it's over, yet I need you. But I don't think I will ever let you know that. I'll say it's okay and then I'll walk away. Into the night, I'll never look back. Into the night, what's on your mind? Because I know you're awake. Oh, into the night, who's by your side? And does it feel the same? Our memories will become stories that we will tell someone else. I'll think of you, you'll think of me only when the nights are the loneliest. And the moments untold will burn like gold forever in our minds. What did we leave behind? Oh, into the night, what's on your mind? Because I know you're awake. Oh, into the night, who's by your side? And does it feel the same?
Beautiful, beautiful, Anmol. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Beautiful
And can I
composition.
please thank you for having me, for asking me such wonderful questions, and for taking out the time. And you're such a wonderful, amazing human being. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anmol. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me and saying, singing for all your fans. People are loving your voice. Thank you so much. And all the best for all your
Thank
projects.
you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.